okay? Because I'm Shauna Partlow and I am a teen relationship coach, and I am here to help parents, okay, to connect with their teen so that you can talk about all issues with your teenager. And today, Mom, we're talking about you and your teenage daughter, okay? About butting heads, about just maybe, man, you're like oil and water, okay? And it just doesn't seem like anything you do is right. You just almost can't even stand to be around her. Hey, I understand that. I understand that feeling, because I was in that same kind of relationship at one time with my super fantastic teenager. But it doesn't have to stay that way, okay? Something too for you to remember. Well, actually, I'm just going to say this, okay? Because we're just getting started, getting right into it. Is this, Mom? Okay, you have to calm down. That's your first thing, Mama. You got to calm down, okay? Because you yourself can't just be mad and angry constantly either. All right. And even though sometimes you feel like, well, she just makes me that way. She's pushing my buttons and she knows what to do, and I just can't stand it. Just every time, even sometimes she walks in the room, she just makes me mad because there's just that instant tension, and she's just rolling her eyes all the time at everything I say. She back talks me, and it's just not a good situation. But Mama, you got to calm down, okay? Because you can't change anything by you just being mad and angry yourself, okay? And another thing too is, even though she might be pushing the buttons, and even though you might be mad, you might be angry, but you can't stay there, okay? Have your moment, get over it, have it, and remember this too, do not let her be in charge of your emotions, because she isn't. So don't put her in charge of your feelings. Don't put her in charge of your emotions, okay? Because don't give her that power over you, okay? And I'm not saying that in terms of like, you're the mom and you better stand up. I'm not saying it in terms like that. I'm saying in terms of, if she's pushing your buttons, you know what? Don't let her have that. And again, I'm not trying to say it like that. Don't let her have the satisfaction of winning, okay? Because that's not even the way I'm saying this. I'm saying it in terms of, Mom, just calm down. Do not let her control who you are, okay? Your emotions and your feelings. Do not allow her to control that. Just as she should not allow you to control how she is feeling, all right? So I'm hoping that is all making sense to you in what it is the point I'm trying to get across here. Because she is not in charge of you. She is not in charge of your emotions, and so don't let her be. Another thing that I want to say is, it doesn't mean you don't have the right to be mad, upset, and angry at times, okay? Because you definitely do, because you are the parent. And hey, it doesn't mean that she doesn't have that right either, because she definitely does too, all right? So you both have that right to feel mad and angry, upset, but don't stay there, okay? Just do not stay there in that mad and angry mindset, because once you stay there, it's harder to pull yourself out of that, isn't it? And I'm sure that's not who you want to be all the time. But if that's who you are all the time right now, then you need to step back, calm down a little bit, kind of evaluate yourself and think about, okay, well, what is it that I am doing? How are my emotions? Am I letting my emotions control me? And am I letting her control me in her emotions? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you're getting any value out of this, go ahead and hit like, okay? So also something, when your daughter might be pushing the buttons, when she might be getting you just really to the point to where it's like you're just so mad and angry that it has ruined your day, she might be like, woohoo for that, because I'm going to go ahead and do that to my mom because I know it's going to ruin her day. And I know she's going to stay mad and angry until, days later. So in her mind, guess what? She could be thinking, yes, I win once again, because I got my mom so mad. I got her so angry that she's so frazzled. She can't even think now. She's just in this emotional whirlwind. And yes, she might be thinking how proud of herself she is, okay? But again, you do not need to stay there. You do not need to keep your emotions there, all right? And because I know it's not about winning, okay? And it shouldn't be, not even for you. I win, okay? Win this round, because that's not what it's about, all right? Even though she might think that way, okay? And she might not care, all right, on how you feel. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't care. And remember who's the adult, all right, in the situation. I know sometimes it's hard, and it can be real hard to keep that adult mind going and not act like the teenager yourself. So next, okay, after you've done a few of those things, this is what else you got to do, all right? You need to listen to your daughter. You need to listen to her, okay? Even if you don't think she's right, because, hey, she might not be, all right? That's totally irrelevant. That is not the point. The point is she needs you, mom, to hear and listen to her, okay? And not where you just butt in and get all mad and angry, like, oh my gosh, that is so dumb. Where are you even getting that information? That is the dumbest thing I ever heard you even say. So, okay. And then you might be thinking, well, I don't even know where do you even get this stuff? How do you think that way? Well, here's a secret, okay? Here's a secret. She thinks that way because she's a teenager, okay? That's why she thinks that way. That's why, seriously, some of the things that she says is so dumb and so like irrational because she's a teenager, all right? Their brain works that way. It functions that way. Don't you remember some of the things that you did when you were a teenager and like, wow, man, I really was dumb. Remember how you thought you knew everything? And you didn't want to listen to your mom either? It's the same thing, okay? She's no different than that because she is a teenager. So you just have to kind of put that aside and don't focus on that, okay? And then let her, if you've asked her a question, please let her answer the question, okay? Because I know we get so mad and we're angry, and in the midst of our anger and in the midst of the situation and in the midst of the emotions, we're actually just saying these things. Words are coming out of our mouth and we're asking questions, but we're not really asking questions that we want the answer to. We're just asking things. And then we get mad because they're not answering. And then if she tries to answer, then you don't let her answer. And then that fight just stays going on and on and on. It's like, like a cat fight, isn't it? Just a constant, they're just like fighting and they're just like in a ball. That's what cats are like, just fighting and bawling and just rolling around. That's kind of the same thing, okay? And people around you, they can't stand it. You can't stand it, and neither can she. So that's something you just definitely have to, okay, think about, all right, in here. So after you've done those two things, okay, after you've calmed down, all right, after you've decided you're going to listen to her, okay, those are some two things that you can do. After you have done that, then is what you can do is, okay, all right, honey, let's talk about our relationship, okay? Because you cannot talk to her about how you want your relationship to be better if you are mad and angry and upset, all right? You can't have a productive conversation in that. Neither can she, all right? Neither one of you are going to hear each other. So after you've calmed down, okay, and then after you have decided to listen to her, regardless if she's right or not, all right? That's totally irrelevant, all right? After you've done those two things, now you can have a conversation. Now you can be productive with her, and that's going to go a long ways to make it a whole lot better. So in the midst of that conversation, you are just talking with her, okay? Because out of all the teen girls that I've talked to, which has been a lot, okay? I worked with teens for over 25 years. Over 25 years. So that's a long time. And all of the teen girls that I have talked to that have had a bad relationship with their mom, not one single one of them was like, yeah, you know what? I really don't care. It's fine, that relationship sucks. And I really don't care that, me and my mom don't get along. And, it's totally fine with me that we fight and argue all the time. And I really don't want it to be any better. No, they don't. Not one of them has ever said that. And those are even the girls that have been, super naughty, okay? That know that they shouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. They still want the relationship to be good with their mother. They do, okay? They want that mother-daughter connection. And they want that mother-daughter bond. They want that. So even if it doesn't feel like it, even if your teen daughter doesn't show that she does, remember she's a teenager, okay? She's a teenager. So that's why she's thinking that way. And teenagers can be, extremely selfish, but so can adults. So she does want that relationship, all right? And you need to just be willing to participate in getting that relationship with her, okay? So I totally remember when my daughter and I were in the battleground, and this time she was grounded for a very long time for the many things that she had done, okay? And in the midst of this now grounding that she was in, she now had to do everything that I did. She had to go everywhere I went. Like if I went outside, she had to go outside with me because there was absolutely no trust. If I went in the house, she had to go in the house with me. If I left my house to walk down the street just to the neighbors for something, she had to go with me because it was that bad. So it was just like, okay, this is the way it has to be now. And so, hey, it was hard for me too. You know, when you ground them, it puts a strain on yourself as well. So we had gone somewhere and we came back. We were in the driveway, and I remember, I turned off the car, and of course her crappy attitude, because now she's thinking, well, great, now I got to be with my mom every day, and I can't even believe that my mom is just the killjoy ruining my life, and I have to go everywhere with her and do everything with her. And I looked over at her and turned off the car, and I looked at her and I just said, I don't want this for you. Like, man, I know you think that I'm just trying to ruin your life, but I'm not, man. I want you to have fun. I want you to be with your friends and have a good time. I want you to be able to be on the phone and have your friends over and you go over and do stuff, fun things with them. I want that for you. But gosh, it makes my heart so sad that this is what has to happen. And she looked at me. I will never forget that look on her face as she quickly looked at me and in such shock, like, what? Really? You do? You don't want bad things for me? And I don't think she was necessarily thinking I wanted bad things for her, but she was thinking, wow, you don't want to do this? Like, this isn't fun for you? No. And I remember saying that, this isn't fun for me, because it wasn't fun for me. And at that very moment, though, she had an instant change of heart, and it just instantly came upon her, just like, wow, okay, because she understood at that very moment that, wow, you know what? I do need to be disciplined for my actions. And it isn't my mom that is the one doing this. I need to be held responsible for my actions, not my mom, because it isn't me that needed to be held responsible for what she had done. I, yes, needed to discipline her and do something in order to show her like, wow, hey, that is not okay. That behavior is absolutely not okay. So each time I had to take it, I got to take it to another level each time. Instead of just sweeping it under the rug, acting like nothing happened, you just go ahead and go about your business, because I have to tell you, she would not be the adult she is today if I would have not disciplined her, if I would have just acted like nothing happened, if I would have just been like, oh, she's fine, you know what, she's just young, she's a child, she'll get over it, because no, she wouldn't have. She would have became that as an adult, because she never had any consequences to her actions. So when I gave her those consequences to her choosing of her actions, you know what, she didn't like it. Well, hey, neither did I. But it had to be done. But at that very moment, it changed her in, seriously, like a blink of an eye, because of the way I was being to her, because I had to change my way of talking to her in order to reach her. So, hey, it was hard. I got to tell you, it was definitely hard, and it wasn't fun. But it was definitely something that had to be done. So when you talk to your super fantastic, beautiful teenage daughter, okay, again, it's the tone. All right, it's the tone that you're using, because yeah, it doesn't mean that I didn't talk to her like abruptly and stuff. Hey, I definitely did. But all those things that I have done, I learned a lot in that. And that's why I can talk to you about this stuff today, because I've been through that. That's why I can tell you what that relationship, how there was that bashing, because I've been there. I have done that. So teens have changed, but they haven't changed that much, okay? They have not changed that much. The daughter and the mom still want a really good relationship. These things that I just told you right now about calming down first, mom, you cannot be mad and angry all of the time, okay? And you talking with your daughter, but most importantly, you letting her talk to you, okay? Let her say what she wants to say to you. So those are key factors. And then this one is, oh, yes, you know what? That when you do talk to her and you do say things to her, it's in the humble state and the gentle tone, okay, that's going to get her attention in a positive way. Because being mad, angry, yeah, that gets her attention, all right, okay? But that keeps both of you in a position that you don't want to be in. So then you're able to say to her, I really do want us to get along, because you do, right? Yeah, you do. I really do want us to get along, honey. I want us to have fun together. I want us to, make mom and daughter memories, fun, good memories, so you can share those memories with your daughter someday, so that we can talk about those things, to my grandchildren, even that we can reminisce about that as we get older and be, I remember, Mom, when we used to do these things, when we would go to the movie, when we would just go for ice cream, we would just, go for these walks, and she can pour her heart out to you, because isn't that what you want? Yeah. I know you do. I know you want that she can tell you seriously anything, because she knows that, wow, my mom's going to listen to me. Not because it's always great and always just this perfect conversation, doesn't mean she's not going to do things that you don't like, but you know what? She needs you to be able to talk to her, with her, be with her, and give her that sound direction and advice that that you have for her and that you want for her. She wants that and you want that, okay? But in order to do that, you do have to calm down, and in the midst of that, your tone has to change, and you do have to be able to be humble enough to speak that way and to say those things to her. And definitely tell her that you love her, because you do. Just because maybe your mom didn't tell you that, she didn't hug you, and maybe you're not a hugger and that makes you uncomfortable. Hey, I gotta tell you, you gotta get past those things, okay? You absolutely have to get past that, because your daughter needs you to hug her. She needs you to just, put your arm around her, just to be close to her, sit with her on the couch. She needs that from her mom and her dad too. Okay, so dad, hey, if you plugged into this, dad, you need to be hugging and affectionate to your daughter too, because if not, she will get it from some other guy. Okay, so that was just a little side note there. But anyway, mom, okay, it's okay for you to be affectionate too. And it's okay for you to tell her that you love her, because you do. Okay, those are things that you can't keep like in a secret and no speaking that out. Like, oh, she knows. Well, how does she know? Okay, she needs to know by you telling her and you hearing, and her hearing it. All right, definitely. So I do want to say, okay, so here, okay, have my little notes here, because sometimes it is difficult to bring yourself to say something nice, isn't it, after all of the tension. Man, I can remember that too. But you do have to dig it up deep down inside of you, okay? And find the strength, find that energy to say something nice, okay? To bring up that, how I had to do with my own daughter. Hey, you know what? Man, I really don't like doing this. Like, this is not fun for me. And I don't like it. But it does have to be said, okay? Because I had to focus on us, on my daughter relationship, just like you will have to, okay? And don't focus on all the things that she did and all the things she's not doing. You have to focus on what you want it to be, okay? What you can see how great the relationship can be. That's what you focus on. Because if you're going to sit there and focus on all the negative, you're not going to get very far, okay? And not because it didn't happen, not because it's not true, not because of any of those things, because it is true, okay? But you cannot focus there. And that's what I had to do. I had to focus and put that behind me and get little things within our relationship to join it together. Because one thing that I had done too was a song on the radio. And then I called it our favorite song. So then when that song would come on, then we would start singing and say, hey, here's your part. Don't forget, let's start singing it. And sometimes, she wouldn't. But then she did. So that became like our favorite song. And we sang it and we'd sing it together, and not because we were like professional singers, okay? It was because it was fun. It was because I had to pick up things to help pour into her, to plug into her, to be on purpose, okay? So that's the same thing for you. That's what you will have to do too, okay? So I want to say something right here, okay? And if you've had enough of that, okay, you can hit like, you can hit subscribe. If you've had enough and you're like, okay, this is good, but I need to say something right here, okay, you can stop this video right now and you don't have to keep watching. And because I have more to say, okay, and you might not like what I'm about to say in the next section of this video. So if you want to stop this video, hey, that's fine. I will not have hurt feelings, okay, because I'm not even going to know, all right? So even if I do know, it's okay, all right, because you may not want to hear what I have to say, all right? So if you want to stop this video, please do. You can carry on and go do something else, all right? So if you do want to stay, okay, first of all, you can hit subscribe, you can hit like, all right, because we're going to get into some other, just a little bit more of a detail of this stuff, okay? So if you do want to stay and you're ready to, okay, let's go, Shauna, let's go. All right, this is what we're going to do. All right. So again, the big thing that you need to do, Mom, is to remember is that the thing you need to remember, Mom, is your daughter is not responsible, okay, to build the relationship with you. Mom, you are the one responsible to build that relationship with your daughter, okay? So that's what I want you to remember. And in the midst of that, it doesn't matter how difficult it is, because I got to tell you, it can be super difficult, okay? But you do have to get ready and be ready to do that, okay? Because it definitely, it can be very, very hard to do. But you have to decide if you're willing or not to put in the work, okay? Because it's not yes one moment because things are going really great and wonderful, and then no the next second because things aren't going so great and wonderful, okay? There is no in between. Hey, you're either in it or you're not, okay? Your daughter knows the difference, okay? And she's going to test you on some of those things too, to say, you know, especially if your relationship has been so all over the place and mad and angry and just constant fighting, like all of the time, that there really is never a moment that you two have really gotten along that well, or maybe you did and now you don't. She's going to test you to see if this is really true, if you really are in it or not, all right? She's going to test that. So are you? So you cannot be wishy-washy. You cannot be up and down. You got to let your yes be yes and your no, no. There is no in between, that you're all in or you're not. Okay. So that's one thing that I do want to say to you, because if you are all in, this is your second chance right here to stop the video. If you're not all in, okay, stop again. You don't have to keep watching because we're about to get a little bit deeper in this. So I will say bye to you, to those who are not ready to go any further. So bye. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Okay. But those of you that are, and you're ready to stay and you're ready to plug in and like, yeah, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So if you are ready and you wanted to, stay with this, plug in a little bit deeper and a little bit more, then here we go. You're going to hold tight, because now this is what you're going to do. Take a deep breath, okay? Because you can do this. All right, Mom, you can do this. So this is something you can say to your beautiful daughter, okay? Is, you know what? I know there are some things that I need to change in helping our relationship to be better, and I am willing to do that. So then you say this to your daughter, okay? You can say that. There's some things that I need to change. So here's some things I'm going to work on. And those things are what? Mom, what are you going to work on? Okay. This isn't for me to decide for you. This is for you, because you know what it is that you need to work on. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Okay. I'm going to work on what? Being less negative. I'm going to work on listening to you a little bit more. I'm going to work on just, not being so mad and angry. I'm going to work on, just talking nicer. Okay. Whatever it is that you are going to work on, write it down. Write it somewhere, put it in your phone, something, because you know what, you might forget, okay? So what is it that you're going to work on? So in the midst of that, you're going to tell her that, all right? You're going to tell her what you're going to work on. Not just, well, I'm going to work on some things to make a relationship better. And then it's crickets, and then it's nothing, okay? So what's it going to be? What are you going to work on, all right? So tell her, because she needs to know. You can also put it in the chat, okay? Because, hey, I'd love to know, all right? Because remember I said, I'm here to help you, all right, build the relationship with, right now, your teenage daughter. And in order to help you, hey, tell me what it is that you'd like to work on with you. Okay, now this isn't her working on some things. This is you, because you can only change you. And in the midst of you changing you, you help change the relationship. Because remember, you are the one, Mom, that has to be the one to build the relationship with your daughter, okay? She is not responsible to build a relationship with you. You are the one responsible to build a relationship with her, okay? So that is one way that you will build this relationship with her is, wow, okay, you know what? I've done a lot of things wrong, and I just want to apologize to you, because I really want to work on listening, being a better listener. I really want to work on, just my negativity, because I know that it has really been bad and I don't want to be that way anymore. So whatever it is that you want to work on, okay? Maybe being less defensive. So that is actually a good one. And whatever it is, okay, that you know you should work on, and even do, or even stop doing, okay? I need to stop doing what? But really, even, just however you want to phrase that, okay, is great. But here's the thing too. Now, this is just one or two things, okay? This isn't like a list of 10, 20 different things, all right? You may write down 10 or 20 different things and think, wow, I really need to work on these things right here. But only do one or two at a time, okay? You cannot work on 10, 20 different things in order for things to be just as great success. You need to work on just one thing at a time, 2 things tops, okay? You can do 1 or 2, yeah, but you don't need to just do 10, okay, or more, because that's just not realistic, okay? And here is something definitely, all right? So I want you to be hearing me. Please do not say you're going to work on being less negative. Work on listening more, if you seriously do not plan to do that, okay? Because, hey, your daughter, she might be a teenager, but she's not dumb and she's not stupid. She knows. You can't say, like, hey, once that comes out of your mouth, I got to tell you, that is out, isn't it, okay? You got to be realistic. You can't just be saying these things, well, you know what? I'm going to work on us going on vacation to Hawaii every year, and that will help to build our relationship. Heck yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But really, are you going to do that? Probably not, okay? Be realistic about what you are saying and about what you're doing and what the expectation is even on yourself, all right? Because once it's said, like I said, that gets out there, okay? You can't be like, well, you know what? I said that stuff out of, I was having a moment. I was just having, feeling, really sensitive right at that time. But you know what? But I didn't really mean it, okay? You need to mean it, okay? So if you do not plan to mean it, to say it, to do it, okay, then hey, your integrity is on the line too, okay? Integrity isn't just for guys and men, okay? It isn't. It's for women too, okay? So do not say it if you do not mean it. If you're going to say, I'm going to work on what? Plan on doing it, okay? Because otherwise, you just need to be quiet. Also, because that will help definitely with your relationship. But, okay, here's one other thing, okay? Because, hey, maybe you really don't know what to work on. Maybe you really don't know what it is that you should be doing. Then here's something you can do, okay? Is ask your daughter, hey, what do you think I should work on, to help our relationship be better? But here's a big thing. Before you ask this question to her, I got to tell you, you have to be prepared for what she might say to you, okay? Hey, because if you're going to be all hurt and emotional and get mad and angry and get hurt feelings, then do not ask her that question, okay? Because she might say something that you are not prepared to hear, okay? So you got to be humble. This is a humble state right here, when you're asking her this stuff. And then don't get mad later. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she said that. That really hurt my feelings. I wish she wouldn't have said, I'm not like that. Why is she saying that stuff about me? Okay, oh my golly, okay? You got to get over it. You got to put your big girl panties on, okay, and move forward, all right? Because remember, if you're going to ask her that, you got to be prepared for that, okay? And if you're asking in a nice, humble, gentle state too, okay? See, now you've brought the relationship, the momentum of the energy of what maybe the explosions are, and then you humble yourself and you take some deep breaths, and then you can actually talk with your daughter and have conversation. You're bringing down the whole tone of the conversation, okay? And that's going to make a big difference. So, again, hey, if you're getting any value out of these sections that I've added onto here, you can just hit like, okay? And hey, feel free to subscribe, all right? So I want to just double check here what I'm saying to you, okay? Because, let's see, okay, so again, when you're asking your daughter, you can ask her that same thing, what's the biggest thing that you'd want me to work on? You can ask for 1 or 2 things, but even if you just ask for 1, that's totally fine. What's the biggest thing that you think that I should work on to help our relationship be better? Okay, and then again, see what she says. Okay, but again, you don't say that unless you are, going to be able to handle that. And let me see, because that is definitely a tough question to ask. It is. But also, it's a really good question to ask. And again, you have to be humble enough to hear the response and to hear what your daughter is saying. and not be defensive and not get mad and angry, okay? And not keep yourself in a negative mindset. So if you really do these things, okay, this will help your relationship, all right? Because you got to put the work in, Mom. You got to put the work in too, okay? You can't just expect your daughter to. And even though you may have done some things, hey, that's great, okay? But go back to this little checklist, watch this video again, all right? And then see if there's some things that you can maybe just even add to it each time maybe you watch it, all right? To help the relationship with your daughter. Because, hey, I got to tell you, it matters. You doing things, man, I got to tell you, it matters. These teen girls, when they're saying this stuff to me, man, their hearts are broken. Their hearts are really sad because they really do want a really good relationship with their mom. Who doesn't want to do fun things with their mom as a teenager? Because that's when you're living together. That's when you're in the home together. There's a lot of fun things that can happen. So don't let those teen years slide by and then think back later, wow, I wish I would have, okay? Because this is the time to do that. This is the time to build that relationship. This is the time to humble yourself and mend what you need to mend within yourself so that you can mend within your daughter, okay? And both of you together. And hey, if you need to get counseling, you know what? Don't be ashamed to do that, but definitely get a good counselor, okay? Not just some random person, okay? You need to maybe talk to some people that have been to that same person, okay? Because there are some counselors that can mess you up, all right? And mess up your daughter totally to where you're like, wow, I was not expecting that. So just be, do your research, definitely. So, hey, if you've gotten any value, again, out of all this stuff, please hit like, okay? And let me know if you made it through all of this video, okay? Because, hey, go you. That was fantastic. And also let me know if you're going to implement any of this stuff. And if you did, okay? If you did implement it, and then what happened? So try this stuff for at least a month, okay? This isn't just a one-time, well, I tried it already and it didn't work. Well, how long did you try it? Okay, you have to put some effort forth. Remember, that's what I said. Hey, you got to be willing to put the work in, okay? Not just a one-time thing and you just tried something. It could be really hard work to do, but I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed that you did this. Absolutely. You will be so grateful that you did put the time, the work, and the effort forth, all right? And your daughter will be grateful for that too. So I just want to tell you, let me see. Thanks for watching, all right? And hey, I will definitely see you in the next video.